Nikon Education Foundation presents 7 weeks free data analytics training. In these 7 weeks, you're going to learn Excel, MySQL, and Power BI. Also, you'll be getting a certificate of completion by the end of this course. Join us on this journey of becoming a certified data analyst.
Okay, before sharing my screen, I want us to discuss about data analytics generally before going into the material proper. Let me start from here. What is data analytics? Data analytics is the science of analyzing raw data to make conclusions about that information. I repeat again, data analytics is the science of analyzing raw data to make conclusions about that information. Now, when I mean raw data, what is the meaning of raw data? Now, I will show you this for you to see how data looks like. Let me try to show you this data. You see something here. I'm coming. Now, sorry, it's loading. It's loading. Now, look at this. This is an exactly this thing is this is a raw data. If you don't know data before, this is an example of a raw data. This is an example of a raw data. So now, as an aspiring data analyst, your job is to carry out analysis on this data based on instruction. Based on instruction. So when we say data analytics is the science of analyzing raw data to make conclusions about that information. Now, it simply means that as a data analyst, you'll be expected to carry out analysis on this data based on instruction. Now, it might be the analysis might be based on you using pivot table to carry out the analysis, or you might be told to further the analysis by presenting it via charts. So now when you successfully carry out this analysis, and they see your analysis, then they can make conclusions. They can make the conclusion on what you have analyzed. So as a data analyst, you will always carry out analysis on data. So this is how data looks like. At times it might not come this way. At times it might have more than the header might be longer than this. I mean, I'm referring to my column A to column L. The header might be more than this, but this is how a data looks like. So when you are hearing data, what is even data? This is an example of a data. So you want to carry out analysis, then you carry out your analysis on this data. You might be instructed to carry it out via pivot table or via charts. Okay, good. Now, let me give you another definition of data analytics. Please, I want you to write. It is also defined as a scientific process of transformation into insights for making better decisions. Let me repeat again. It can also be defined as a scientific process of transformation into insights for making better decisions. Now, let me come down to your level. What is the meaning of transformation? Now we are going to look transformation in this form. We are going to look transformation in this form. Now, when you hear transformation, what are we even transforming? What are we transforming as a data analyst? What are you expected to transform? You know, when you carry out transform in this definition, I say process of transformation into insights. So that means that you are going to carry out transformation on a data. It is when you carry out the transformation, then when you carry out the transformation, and the next step is analysis, whether through pivot table or through pivot table charts. Now, let's define transformation. Let me show you transformation. Let me show you a data. Let me show you one particular data. And then from this data, then I will be able to give you, I will be able to tell you the meaning of transform. I don't want to say it offhand. Rather, I want you to see. So the best way to teach is to let people to see what you are talking about. So I will show you a data. I will show you a data that is not transformed. Then when you see this data, then I can now talk about transformation. Now, let's see. Let's see. Now, I want to quickly show you a data. Now, look at this data. This is an example of untransformed data. Now, if you look at this data, it has, if you look at this data, it has salesperson, product, column 2, expenses, column customer loyalty, column 1, column 12, units sold, customer, country, date, and sales price, value 2, values. Okay, now good. Now, if you look at this data as an aspiring data analyst, you cannot say that you want to carry out analysis on this data, whether via pivot table or whether through pivot table charts. You cannot just say that you want to carry out analysis on you cannot say that you want to you want to present this data on pivot table. Why? Because this data is an non-transformed data. Is a non-transformed data. Is a non-transformed data. Now you might be looking at it that, but this data is clean. This data is clean. It has headers, it has this, it has that. But I want you to see that if you look at this header, it says person. The head is supposed to be in capital letter. Also the products, the expenses, and column 2, column 1, column 12, all this ought not to be, all this column ought not to be here. Ought not to be here. Ought not to be here. It means this data is not cleaned. Now look at the name. Look at the names. Look at the names. Salesperson is even inside is on row 2. Now look at John Smith, Michael Jojo. Look at all the names, not properly arranged. Is not cleaned. This column is not cleaned. Okay. Now look at also this column as well. Products, car 1, 2, 3, bicycle 1, 2, 3. This data is unclean data because actually under products you should not see you should not see a figure. You should not see value. You should not see a car and you should not see a text and a value together. So this it means that this data is not cleaned. So look at column 12 as well. Look at this column 12. Can you see? Can you see null? These are null. These are null. Sales CSV. These are null. These are null. Look at the customer country. Look at the item under it. England, Nigeria. They are in capital letter. It ought not to be like this. So this data is untransformed data. Is untransformed data. So as a data analyst, you cannot say that you want to carry out analysis on this data. You just want to present it via pivot table and pivot charts. You are going to enter error. You are going to enter error. So now let me now go back to my definition. I said of transformation. So it means that as a data analyst, the first thing you have to do is to transform this data. That is, based on your skill and expertise, you will work on this data to a point whereby it becomes cleaned, transformed. That will be the first step. That will be the first step. Now, after you have successfully transformed this data, and then you can now begin to carry out your analysis. So this data is an example of untransformed data. Let me quickly show you this example. Look at dates. The date is a figure. Look at date. Dates ought not to be this way. So there is a method we can use to correct this date. So as a data analyst, what you have to do is to ensure that you transform the data. Now, when you carry out your transformation on this data, then the next thing you are going to do is now carry out your analysis. You carry out your analysis. So when you carry out your analysis based on instruction, then we can now bring out insights from your analysis. we can then make a better decisions from your analysis, because what you analyze is what they will depend on. What you analyze is what the organization will depend on. So therefore, one will not be casual with your transformation. You will ensure that you look at it well and you do a thorough transformation, so that when you carry out your analysis, there will not be error. There will not be error. So transformation into insight for making better decisions. So when you now say transformation, so when you are able to transform this data, then you have already done transformation on the data, and then you can now carry out your analysis. So I think you've been able to understand what I have just explained now. So a data analyst is someone that transforms data. You transform the data in a way that you'll be able to carry out the right analysis on that data. I hope that is clear. All right, good. So don't worry, I have this data. We are going to work on it, but not now. We are going when we're doing cleaning and transformation, we are going to work on this data. So I'm going to clean this data. You are going to see the techniques I'm going to use to clean this data, and then you will learn from me. All right, thank you. Now let's look at the goal. Go, go, the goal of analytics. The goal. Now, the goal of analytics is to gain insight. The goal of analytics is to gain insight from the data, which can be used to make improvements or changes in the business. Let me repeat again. The goal of analytics is to gain insights from the data, which can be used to make improvements or changes in the business. So back to this data. Now, after carrying out transformation from this data, after carrying out your transformation from this data, and then the next thing is what? The next thing is to carry out the analysis. And then what is the goal? Why the analysis? What is the aim? What is the result? What are we driving at? What do we want to gain from this analysis? Well, is for us to make improvements and changes in the business. Okay, thank you. So now let's move to tools in analytics. Tools, tools in analytics. Now we have different tools where we can use to carry out our analysis. Now take for instance, when I say tools in analytics, what I'm just trying to say is that what are the things we can use to carry out analysis? What are the things we can use to carry out analysis? Good. Now, the first thing is Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel. So, via Microsoft Excel is a tool that can be used to carry out analysis on data. Microsoft Excel is a tool that can be used to carry out analysis on data. Good. Now, we also have Power BI. Power BI means business intelligence. Now, we can also use Power BI is also a tool that we can use to carry out analysis on data. Power BI. We also have SQL, structure query language. Now, structure query language can also be used to carry out analysis on data. So, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, and SQL. It means that as a person that is aspiring to be a data to become a as person that is aspiring to become a data analyst, it is very important that you know these three tools: Microsoft Excel, Power BI, and structure query language, SQL. It is very, very important. Now, we also have Tableau. I also have Python. We have Tableau. We also have Python. Yeah, the two can also be used to carry out analysis. I mean Tableau and Python. But Microsoft Excel, Power BI, and SQL is you. I think I can say that if you want to apply for a job, I am referring to data analytics job, you will always see Microsoft Excel, you will always see Power BI, and you always see SQL. You will always see these three tools. They are very important. So when you learn them well and you gain mastery of them, then you can you can work on any data. You can carry out analysis on any. You can carry out analysis on any data. if you can just know Microsoft Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Of course, the reason I'm training you now is because it's for you to be able to know, to learn, to know, to learn, and to be able to teach it as well and to get a job via it. So you don't have problem in that. But however, you know what you are learning, you ought to know it and you ought to know it well. In fact, you ought to gain mastery of what you are learning. Okay? Now good. Now let me quickly move to types of data. Okay, before type of data, let me explain data this way. What is a data? A data, what is a data? It's an information in raw or unorganized form. I repeat, a data is an information in raw and unorganized form. I hope you are jotting something. Now, it can be in form of a text, it can be a number, it can be videos, it can also be pictures. So they are examples of data. It can come in form of a video that you will just be told to go into this site, download this video, arrange them, and just they will just ask different things concerning the video. So we can also see it as a data. Picture as well, picture, text, then number. When I say text, what I'm referring to here is words, and then numbers. This is an example, numbers. Are you there now? Okay, good. Now let's look at types of data. Now we have two types of data. We have structured data and unstructured data. I repeat, we have structured data and unstructured data. Now, when we say structured data, a structured data is the one that resides in a fixed field within a record or file. Let me repeat myself. A structured data is the one that resides in a fixed field within a record or file. Now, example of a structured data, that will be data that is inside the spreadsheet. A data that is inside that is already organized on the spreadsheet. That is a structured data. Then when we talk about also another example is relational database. Relational database. And when you're talking about relational database, you are actually talking about data that are related. That is, they have something that are common. Maybe common, maybe columns that are common, primary key, things that are just common things between the two data. Yes, you can say relational, you can say a relational database. They are relatable. They just have you have their they have things in common. Example of this, you always when it comes to SQL, structured query language, you always hear really is it can be seen as is a relational database. Yes, structured query language is a relational database, especially when you want to join tables together. When you have one, two, three tables, four tables, and you want to join them together using their primary key, you can see this as you can call this a relational database. So they are example of structured data. Now, when you hear unstructured data, what is unstructured data? Unstructured data, this is a data that does not have a predefined data model. Let me repeat myself. This is a data that does not have a predefined data model, or it is not an organized data in predefined manner, or it is not an organized data in predefined manner. Example, document collection, such as invoice records and emails. Document collection, such as invoice records and emails. Now, let me try to explain this way. Now, I don't know, maybe you heard about web scraper. Maybe you heard about web scraper. Now, when you are talking about web scraper are those that they will visit different sites and they will scrape the data there. They will visit different sites and they will scrape the data. For example, web scraper, they can scrape data, they can scrape, they can visit Twitter and then scrape all the data in Twitter. Also Instagram. They can visit that site and scrape the data there and scrape the data there. So when you are scraping the data, we can't call that data organized data because it's an unstructured data. Why? Because there will still be a need for you to organize the data inside spreadsheets. Yes, there will be a need for you to organize the data inside spreadsheets. You will clean the data and then you will organize them. You will organize the column, the header, the header, the rows. You will just organize it on the spreadsheet. That's why we call it unstructured data. Why? Because you are visiting a particular site to gather information, to gather data, and then you are taking that is your source, and then you are bringing it into Microsoft Excel to carry out analysis on such data. Web scraper can scrape, visit different sites, scrape data, and then put it inside Microsoft Excel, and people can then a data analyst can then begin to work on that data. Yes, it cannot begin to work on that data. So we will not be the one to scrape the data. A web scraper will do that. A web scraper will do that, but data analyst will not be the one to carry out analysis on that data. For example, now invoice records. I don't know, maybe you've seen invoices before. Yeah, at times it contains the records of the transaction. So like items sold, quantity, the amount. Now imagine you gathering invoice records. Imagine gathering 100, 150 just for that month, 2 months, 3 months. You gather everything and you were told to sort them out. So what do I mean by sorting them out? That is, you are taking it one after the other and you are inputting it inside the Excel spreadsheet. One after the other, inputting inside Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, that's an example of unstructured data because you are doing something on that data. You are trying to pick them from a particular from a particular document. You are from a particular document and you are inputting it inside Excel. Not that it is well organized inside a spreadsheet. No, you are picking them and you are entering it inside Excel spreadsheet. That's also an example of the work of a data entry. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's move to what is a big data. A big data is a term applied to the fast-moving volume of information available in digital era. I repeat, a big data is a term applied to the fast-moving volume of information available in digital era. For instance, digital pictures and videos, they are big data. Posts, they are big data. So I don't want to dwell on that too much. So I want us to look at who is a data analyst. So for those that are aspiring to become a data analyst, please, I want you to write this definition. It's very short. I'm not going to give you a long definition. I'm going to give you a short definition. So now, who is a data analyst? Right. A data analyst can be seen as one who extracts insights that will help drive business decisions. Let me repeat again. A data analyst can be seen as one who extracts insights that will help drive business decision. That will help drive business decision. Okay, so now that you already know the definition of a data analyst, so let me quickly recap again. Lesson one, I we talked about what is a data analytics. What is data analytics? We look at different definitions. We look at two definitions. That's one. Then we looked at example of a data, and then we also looked at example untransformed data, bringing out the definition of transformation. Now, also we look at the goal of analytics. We look at the goal of analytics. Then we also looked at tools in analytics. We looked at tools in analytics, and then we also looked at what is a data. Then I explained that. We looked at types of data. And I said we have structure and unstructured data. And then we also looked at what is a big data. Then I gave you the definition of a big data. And also, lastly, I said I gave you a definition of a data analyst. I gave you a definition of a data analyst. So we're already done with the theoretical part of this class. We're already done with the theoretical class. Now, the next thing we're about to do now, please ensure you are jotting. Please ensure you are jotting so that when you forget, you take your notes and you will check again. Ensure you are jotting. Okay, good. Now, let's move to another thing. Now, I want to talk about the Excel interface. Now, I want to talk about the Excel interface, but before I talk about Excel interface, I would love to show you something. I would love to show you something. Now, look at my screen. Look at my screen. Now, let me start from here. Look at this. This is called a cell. This is called a cell. This is called a cell. Now, you will notice a green button here. You will notice something like a rectangle, right? It means this cell is active. If I click this, it means this cell is active. If I click this, it's an active cell. When I click this, it's an active cell. Other ones are not active. Anyone I click is actually an active cell. Now, if you look at this, this, this point, this thing that looks like a point, is for autofill. It's for autofill. Now, when we have data, I will show you some. I will show you stuff on it. But for now, still leave it. But it's an autofill. It's an autofill. Okay, let me quickly show you. Let's say I have one, and I want my one to be. I want it to I want my one from row 1 to row 10. So I can drag it and just use my button. This is it. So this particular point you can is for autofill. For autofill. So let me clear it. Now, good. Now this is an active cell. Now you will notice this figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4. Now this is the row. This is row 1. This is row 1, row 1, row 1. If you look at this box. It's called a name box. It is called a name box. That means I can actually name this column. I can name this column. I can name this column. I can name this column A. So now this is my row. This is row 1, row 1, row 1, row 1. And look at this A, B, C, D. It is called column. Column A, column B, column C, column E, column F, column G, column H. So all these are columns. Columns. Now, for those that didn't see my screen, this when you select something like this, when you select this cell, it means this cell is actually active. This cell is actually active. Now, other ones, they are not active until I select them. If I select this cell, it means it is active. If I select this cell, it means it is active. If I select this cell, it means it is active. So now, here, this place where you are seeing one, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, it is called row. These are rows in Excel. When you hear row, these are our row in Excel. These are rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. Good. Now, this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, it is called column. This column A, this column A, row 1. This column B, row 1. This, this column C, this column C, and then this row 1. Column D, row 1. Column E, row 1. column F row 1. If you go to if you click on row 2, this column A row 2, column B row 2, column C row 2. If you come back here, column A row 3, column B row 4. That's how you will be naming it. Are you getting me now? So you can also call this one cell. This cell A1. You can also call it cell A, cell B1, cell C1. So if you are looking at this box, you will see that it's even showing you the name, cell E1, and so on and so forth. So now also when you hear header, now this can also be, it can also pass for header. Don't forget it's a column. It can also pass for header, header. I will show you, I will let you see the meaning of header in the course of the class. But you can also call it header, column header, column header, column header. So all these things can also be seen as column header. This A, B, C, D, even though you can see it column A, but it can also be seen as header, our header. Okay, good. Now, let's say that you want to check the number of rows in Excel. Let's say you want to check the number of rows in Excel. How do you go about that? First thing is that you click your cell, you click your control arrow, then you click your downward arrow. Can you see? You click your, what I did, this is what I did. I clicked the first cell, then after clicking it, I long press my control and I click my downward arrow. So now I can see now that Excel has, I can see the number of rows, 1,486,485,076. Let's say I want to go back. You will do the same thing. You long press your control key and then you click your upward arrow. It will go back. So please try it and see. Try it and see. Okay, good. Now, let's say that I want to check my. Now, the reason why you should understand this that I have just done is this. At times, you might have a data, you might download the data from Cargo. You might download a data from Cargo that has like 9,000 rows or 10,000 rows, 50,000 rows. You cannot be doing this. You cannot be doing like this. You cannot be doing like this. It will take your time. It will take your time. That is, you want to know the number of rows. It will take your time if you are doing it manually. It will take your time. So that is the reason why you should know the shortcuts.
Sir, please, can you kindly repeat the shortcut, please?
Okay, I said after making this cell active, the A1, you hit your control, long press your control key, long press, don't release your hand, and then click your downward arrow. Then release your hand. Then release your hand. And also, to go back, you do the same thing. You hit your control key again, you long press, then the upward arrow, it will go back. Okay, good. Now, let's say I want to know the number of columns. I can't be doing it like this. Let's say I want to know the columns. I can't be doing it like this. It will take my time. I can't be doing it like this. It will take my time. It will take my time. But there is a short method we can use to achieve that. Let's say you want to know the number of columns of the data you have downloaded. You will just hit your control again, the control downward, your control key, long press it, and then your forward arrow. Just click your forward arrow. Can you see XFD? This is the end of our spreadsheet. Are you there? This is the end of our spreadsheet. Long press your control arrow key, don't release your hand, and then click your forward arrow key. It will take you there. Now, if you want to go back again, you long press your control key and you click the backward arrow. That is the arrow, the greater than the greater than arrow, it will take you there again. The first one is the lesser than arrow that face each other like a cross. And then the other one, when you want to go to the end of the column, you long press your control and then you click your arrow. Let me repeat again like this. The arrow that is facing the greater than arrow of cross sign, of plus sign, and then the other one, when you want to go back, you do the same thing. So let me go back. I press the front arrow, the arrow that the one of lesser than plus sign, the cross sign plus, then you click, it will go back. Not the front, not the arrow we use for checking the rows, the other one. Okay, good. Is it clear now? I guess you are cleared. If you are not clear, please let me know. All right, thank you. Now, in Excel, we have 16,384 columns in Excel. 16,384 columns in Excel. And the total number of cells, total number of these cells is 17 billion 117 million 869,184. Again, the total number of cells in our spreadsheet is 17 billion 179 million 869,184 cells. That's the number of cells we have in Microsoft that is the number of cells we have in our spreadsheet. Okay, good. How do we get that? 1 million multiplied by 16,000. 16,384. It will give you that total amount, that total figure. Okay, now, before I continue, now I want to show you something again. I want to show you something. Now, in Excel, there is something we call workbook. There is something we call, don't forget I said today's class is going to be introduction class. So don't be offended if I'm unable to enter the material today. We will enter the material tomorrow. Just understand the basis of Excel. These are the things that can build your boldness in Excel. So don't say that you are not teaching us the material now. Teach us the material now. No, calm down. We are going to be 7 weeks training, right? Since it's 7 weeks training, there is no pressure. At least it's 7 weeks now, and today is still day one, so no pressure. So just learn. Now, in Microsoft Excel, there is something called workbook. Workbook. When you hear workbook, what's the meaning of workbook? See, don't cram anything. Just know it. Don't cram. Just know. When you are hearing workbook, what is workbook? Now, let me show you workbook. Now look at this. This is a workbook. This is a workbook. Now,
Okay. Mr. Michael,
what you are saying,
Mr.
okay.
Michael, I'm sorry to break your class. Please, this is a message for everyone. If you have any question, this class is recorded live on YouTube. If you have any question, kindly use the message box. Please don't interrupt the class. If you have any questions or concern, type it in. We are here to follow up. We are here to follow up and answer to your questions, and then in turn, take your question to the trainer. We don't want the class to break, please. Kindly channel your question to us and we will in turn take it to the trainer. Thank you so very much. Please, if you break this rule, you'll be removed from the meeting. Thank you very much.
Okay, now this is a workbook. This is a workbook. So let me just try to define workbook. It's like, let me paint a picture. Let me paint this picture in your mind. Let's say, okay, let's say you have a book. You have 60 leaves notebook, or 80 leaves notebook, or 120 leaves notebook. Now, don't forget that the leaf inside that book is what you are going to write on. Now, picture workbook this way as well. There is a workbook. So inside the workbook, there are sheets. Inside the workbook. There are sheets. So this is a workbook. It is called a blank workbook. It's called a blank workbook because I've not selected it and I've not even performed anything on the book. So it's a blank workbook. So now let me now go back to my screen. Now this is actually this is a spreadsheet inside a workbook. This is a spreadsheet inside a workbook. Sorry, this is my material. I don't want to go into the material now. There is something I opened the other time. Okay, now this is a sheet. This is a sheet inside a workbook. This is a sheet inside a workbook. Now, inside this workbook, we have different sheets. We have different sheets inside this workbook. Now, for example, this sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. Do you understand? So recall what I said the other time, that we have 16,300 and okay, sorry. I said we have 16,384 columns in Excel, and I said the total is one. Okay, I said the total is 1 billion, 17 billion, 179,869,184. Okay, now in this sheet, in this workbook, we have 255 sheets. I repeat again, inside this workbook, we have 255 sheets inside this workbook, 255. So if I continue to open this sheet with this plus sign, if I continue to open, I have like 255 sheets inside this workbook. So you can call it a worksheet, and you can also call it a spreadsheet. I repeat again, you can call this sheet a worksheet because you want to use a sheet to work on now. You can call it a worksheet, and you can also call it a spreadsheet. Are you clear now? All right, good. Now, let me show you another thing. Now, look at this area. You will see something like FX. Can you see FX? Yeah, this is called formula bar. Formula bar. Formula bar. Now, anything you are writing on this active cell, you'll be seeing it on the formula bar. On the form, can you see? As I'm typing, I could see it on the formula bar. If I write a formula, you will also see it inside the formula bar. Do you understand me now? So it's a formula, that is Excel formula bar. So anything I write here, it will actually show here. And if you look at this arrow, look at this arrow. This arrow should this drop down arrow. Whenever you see arrow, it's telling you that you can actually that you can click the arrow to see another features. You can click the arrow to see another features. For example, if I click this arrow, it will expand my formula bar. See, can you see now? It will expand my formula bar. I can click it again, it will close it. I will click again, expand. I will click it, close. It will close again. Good. Now let's see another thing again let's see another thing again. Now, let's say that you want to you want your time to show on the cell. You want this time, like this time, this 325 2024, you want it to show. There is a shortcut key. You just press your control and then semicolon. It will show. Can you see now? I long pressed my control and I clicked my semicolon, and it brought out today's date. So now let me clean it. Now let's say I want to have my date and time. Let's say I want to have my date and time. I will press my control, shift, and semicolon. Okay, sorry, to show my if you want to have your time, sorry about that. You want to have your time, you press your control plus shift plus semicolon. It will give you your time. Let me say it is a shortcut for time. When you want to have your time, you want your time to show inside a cell. Control plus shift plus semicolon will give you your time. Okay, now good. Now this is what I want to. This is what I was saying the other time. I think I've already explained this. Now I was talking about formula, function. I said it's an inbuilt formula in Excel. Every function and calculation must begin with equal sign. So that means in Excel, before you write anything, it must begin with equal sign. So you will see that when I put equal sign, the interface, something happened to the interface. Something happened to the interface. You will see that something happened to the interface. It's looking like the interface is no longer active again. Why? Because I actually selected a cell. So this cell is actually active. Now let's say I want to put a formula there. For example, I want to put today's date today. Now let's say I want to return date and I want to return today's date. I it is equal to today. It's my open the bracket, close the bracket, and hit enter. Now here I'm able to see today's date. Okay. Now I use today, today. Now this is today's date. The function I use is equal to today. Can you see the formula bar? So on the formula bar, you can see equals to today. Open brackets and close brackets. Open brackets and close brackets. Now let's say that I want to write another formula. Now let's say I want to get the date and time is equal to now. I click my now. I'll close my bracket, then hit my enter. So it will give you the date and time. It will give you the date and time. It will give you the date and time. Now, let me quickly show you something. Now, as someone that is as a person that is learning Excel, as a student of Excel, as an Excel student, let's say I want to write this formula is equal to today. Now, look at something. Look at this. What are you seeing? Returns the current date formatted as a date. I repeat, returns the current date formatted as a date. Now, you must be this person that reads. That is, always read anything when a formula when you want to write a function, always read what is there. Now, what is there is what when you read what is there, it will be able to guide you that okay, this is the result this thing is going to give me. But if you don't read what is there, if you don't read what is there, you might not be able to actually get anything. You might not be able to understand the task, the command you did. You might not be able to understand the command you did. So, and this training, we are going to look at many things, many functions, in Excel, many functions in Excel, and we are going to be reading what Excel wants us to do, how it's going to guide us, how we are going to make use of that function. We are going to see how Excel is going to guide us. You must learn. These are the few things you must learn in this class. So learn how to read. Now it said returns the current date formatted as a date. So now that's that. Now let's move to the interface. Let's move to Excel interface. Now, don't forget I said today is going to be introduction. It will be introduction class. I'm just going to introduce you to interface in Excel. Next tomorrow, then we are going to enter the material. So now let me let me go to my home. Now look at this tab. Look at this tab. This tab is home tab. Now under home tab, ribbons. Sorry, let me just put this one here. Now under home tab, we have ribbons. Now, if you look at this ribbon, this ribbon group, you will see this sign. This letter shows bold. That if you want to bold something, you can bold. This one, if you want to use italics, you can use it. Then if you want to underline, you can. If you are conversant with Microsoft Word, then you will understand this. I don't want to dwell much on this. You can understand this. This one is you want to increase the letter. After if you use any of this and you want the font text, you want it to be bold, you want it to increase, then you can just click it. If you click this, this is, let's say you write something here, then you want it to have something like this, then you can make use of this. And then this, what you have written, if you want to increase it, then you use this thing, you use this figure. Okay, now look at this. If you want to increase the size, if you want to reduce the size, now here, if you want to format what you have just done here, if you want to format it, you can actually do. For example, if I want to format this cell, I can click it this way and I will format it. Can you see now? I have just formatted this cell. So if I want to remove it, you just click no fill, click it, and then click no fill, it will go. Now this one is for when you write something on your cell and you want to color it. Maybe you write your name, you want it to be in color, not color black, then you can make use of this feature in Excel. Are you there now? Okay, good. Now let's look at here. Here is alignment. This one is for alignment, alignment. If you are conversant with Microsoft Word, then you will understand alignment. If you want to align what you have written inside your cell, you can use this. It said move your content farther away from the cell border. This one as well. So you can just play around it. If you are conversant with Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, then you'll be able to relate with this. Now, this is wrap test and match center. Now, if you look at this wrap test, let me quickly show you its own function. Now, let's say that you write something inside this cell, and you notice that it extends to this cell. You notice that it extends to this cell again. Now, in fact, you don't even know whether it is for column B or column A or column C. You don't even know whether it is for column A row 1 self. Now, what you just have to do is what you will just select. You will select the words. Then you will come to your wrap test and you will click. Immediately you do that, it will arrange them accordingly. That is the function of wrap test. If you are conversant with Microsoft Word, you will also understand match center. This one, it can match what you write on your cell. It can match it when you click the match center. It will position it in the way you want to see it. So you can just play around it. I don't want to dwell much on this. You can just play around them. And another way to play around them is you can just write something on the spreadsheet and just practice it. Just practice it. Now, before I move here, let me quickly come back here again. I forgot to show you this feature. Look at this feature. This feature is called border. Now, for instance, look at this bottom border. If you draw a table, you can put a black elder there, top elder. So it has many things you can do with it. You can even use it to draw it. You can even use it to draw a border. So you can also use the eraser. I have a material here, so we are going to make use of it inside the material. So don't worry. Now let's come to this group. Now look at this group. Do you notice something like a dollar sign? Do you know something like a dollar sign? Now, a dollar sign, when you hear a dollar sign, this is just a currency. You can actually format your figure with a dollar sign. You can actually format your figure with a dollar sign. Now, take for instance, let's say I have something like, let's say I have on, I will just autofill this place. Let's 100 on row 3 to row 8, and I want to format it with dollar sign. Then I can make use of my dollar sign, and then you have seen that it actually popped out a dollar sign. So I can say $100, this $100 now. Yes, I'll put my dollar sign. Now, look at this. I also this decimal. If I want to reduce my decimal, I will just come here and I will reduce. I will reduce. Can you see now? Let's say I want to increase it. I will come here. I will increase. I keep increasing it. But I don't want this, right? So I'm going to decrease it. I don't even want to see the decimal. Can you see now? So that is a function of the that is the function of the decimal sign, the symbol, the symbol. Yeah. Now let's look at, let's say you want naira. Maybe you don't want dollar sign. You want another one. You don't want something like this. You can do your right click and then you search for your naira. Looking for my naira. Okay. Back to the class. Remember, I told you that it's going to be an introductory class. So please ensure that you are with me in the class. Don't be after the material. Don't be after the function I want to teach you. Know the Excel interface. Abi, just first know the interface. Relate with the interface. Practice the interface. We'll just practice it. Play around the interface, and then get used to it, and then you will see yourself learning more, doing it more and learning it more. Okay, thank you. Now I said conditional formatting. I said, let's say you have a student, let's say you have like 100 students in your class, and you have already, let's say you've given them grade 50, 40, 100, and then you want to grade them in such a way that anyone that score above 50, you want to format them. The formatting will be in such a way that I want to give them a particular color. Maybe I want to format it with a yellow color. And those one that scored below 100, I won't format them. I will just know that, okay, this one scored 100 and this one scored 50. So whenever I see that color, then I will know that these are the ones that scored above 50. Then you can make use of conditional formatting to carry it out. Now, this is format as table. Now, this one is for table. Let's say you have a table and you want to format the table. You can actually make use of this. You can actually make use of this thing, this table. This okay. Now, yeah, I say you can actually use this function to delete your sheet rows, and to also to delete your sheet columns. So let's say I want to delete this. Okay, let's say I want to delete this. I can actually use this to delete it. Can you see now? I've deleted it. So you can use this portion to delete. Now, this one is for format. Now, let's say that this one is if you want to auto fit your row height. When you hear auto fit, this is what it's saying. Let me quickly show you. For example, let's say you have a load of data, a load of content on this spreadsheet. Now, you want to notice that column A, the content, the header, the words inside column A is entering. Do it like this. At times you can do it this way. You can do it this way, fine, in order to get the column header. But you can actually come here. You can actually come here and use this function, column width. How do you make use of column width? You will first select all the entire sheet. How do you select all the entire sheet? You come to this thing, this something that looks like a triangle. When you click it, you have selected all the, you come down here, format, and you click your auto auto column, yes, auto fit column width. It will expand everything. It will expand everything. It will expand everything. So now what I selected the other time, I selected when I did this way, it selected all the entire sheet in Excel. But the truth is that we cannot actually have a data that has a 200 and something headers. It's not possible. In fact, I've not seen that kind of data before. So if I want to select just only my sheets, I will just come here. Though because I don't have a sheet now, you might not be able to see the effect of what I want to do. But don't worry, when we start to work on the material, I'm going to go back to it and I'm going to show you. I won't forget. Sorry about that. Because we don't have a spreadsheet, so we can't do it. But I will teach you on how to go about it. Now look at here. This is our autumn sum, average, count numbers, main, and more functions. There are also more functions here that we can actually make use of, like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, like that. So I think I will need to rush now. I'm not sure I can finish this interface today. Look this field. Here we can use this field to fill our data automatically series. I'm going to talk about that one. I have it I have it inside my material. We're going to talk about it. Look at this one, clear. Now, if you look at this feature, you can use it to clear format. You can use it to clear anything. If I say clear all, it will clear all the entire sheet. If I say clear format, let's say I formatted this particular rows. If I say clear format, it will only clear the format. But if I say clear, if I give it another command that clear all, everything will disappear. Are you getting now? When you say format, what does it mean? When you hear the word format, what's even the meaning of format? Maybe someone is even having that question in his heart or her heart. That what's the meaning of format? Format simply means that you are performing a manual task on your data. Probably like, for example, the one we did the other time, I put a $sign. That's meaning of formatting. You are actually formatting that row. Maybe you paint it, that's formatting. Maybe you put decimal and clear formats, it will clear everything. If you say clear contents, it will clear everything inside the spreadsheet. Clear content, it will clear everything. Clear comments. Let's say you have a comment, maybe someone puts comment inside this, it will clear the comment, clear hyperlinks. If there's hyperlink inside, it will clear the hyperlinks. Now it will clear the hyperlink. Now look at this aspect. This aspect is sorting and filtering. Now, sorting and filtering, I hope you can hear me. Hello?
Yes, we
I hope you
can
can
hear you,
hear me.
sir. Yes, we can
We
hear
can
you,
hear
sir.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead,
So
we
I
are
don't want
hearing
to
you.
be alone, that's why. Okay, sir. Now look at this interface. Look at this on the interface. Sorting and filtering. Now, sorting and filtering is actually when you want to filter a particular data, a particular column. You can make use of this. I have it inside my material, so I won't actually talk on it for now. I won't talk on it for now. Now look at find and select. Find and select is, let's say you have a load of data here and you want to find a particular value or a particular text. You can make use of find and select. If you are conversant with Microsoft Word, you will understand find and select very well. Find and replace. I have the data on it, so we are going to work on it when the time comes. So just relax your mind. We are in this together. Thank you. Now, let me quickly talk about this one. This one is format painter. You can use this one to format a cell with color. Now, this one is for pasting, copy and paste. You can write something and copy it. For example, let me say I have house. Let's say I have house, and let me try to. Sorry. Let me try to use autofill. Now, let's say I want to copy this. I can just say Control C, then I will copy. That's the meaning of this. I use Control C, the shortcut method, but you can also use this as well to copy it. Then let's say I want to paste it. I will just come here. I will just say Control V. it will paste it. My control V, this is my control V here. This pasting is my control V. This one is my copy. This one is for pasting. And look at this scissor sign. Can you see this scissor sign? It means for cutting, for cutting, for cutting. Let's say that I want to cut this cell and I want to go and paste it inside another spreadsheet. I can use my Ctrl X. I will just cut it. Ctrl X. Sorry. Coming. Okay, I will come back to this function because of time. I will come back to this function, to this feature because of time. Okay, now let's move to insert. Now, I'm going to rush this aspect because I'm trying to follow the time. Now look at here. Here is our pivot table. Here is for our pivot table. These are pivot table features. Pivot table features. Now we are going to come when we are dealing with data visualization. We are going to talk more on this. So just leave it for now. Here is for shapes. Here is for shapes. If you want to put, if you need shape, you can get shape here. Here is for our add-in. Add-ins means that there are some particular features that are not inside Microsoft Excel, that are not that you can't find on the interface, but by default is inside Excel, but you can't see it on the interface. We can actually use get add-in or my add-in to get those features. Peradventure, I want to use that feature. I can use this to get them. Now look at this. This one is also for pivot table, for visualization. I'm not going to talk on them today. When we enter visualization, we'll talk about it. So don't let me jump ahead of myself. Now, all these, they are for visualization. So let me let's leave these features. They are for visualization. Like this one, text. If you want to put a text box, you want to write something on the box, you can make use of text box, header, word art, signature, stuff like that. Also symbols. If you want to make use of symbols, you can come to here, equation, then symbol. You can just play around them. You can play around them. Thank you. Now let's move to page layout. Now I'm not going to stay longer here. I'm not going to stay long here as well. Now look at this page layout. This one, if you are conversant with Microsoft Word, you know this very well. Now this one, these particular features, they are for your spreadsheet. Maybe you want to increase your spreadsheet, your margin, your orientation, your size. You want to print your spreadsheet. Then you can make use of this. So just forget it. You can just print around there. We are not printing yet, so don't worry about it. Print title, just don't worry. Now let me come back to here. Now look at here. There is something called grid line. Can you see grid lines and headings? Headings. Remember, if you recall, I told you the other time that there is something called header on the spreadsheet. I said you can also see this as an header. Even though they are our columns, then we can also see it as headers. Header 1, header 2, header A, B, C, D, E. You understand? Also, you can also see it as column headers. Now, I can actually remove my grid lines. This when you hear grid line, what's the meaning of grid lines? This is what is called grid lines. These tiny lines are the ones called grid lines. Let's say I want to remove, I don't want my grid line to show any longer. I can remove it. I will just do it this way. It will remove, and you won't see the grid line again. Now, at times when you want to showcase your skill on LinkedIn, you want to showcase what you have done on LinkedIn, you want to remove, you want to show your charts, you want the recruiter to see your charts, to see what you have just done, you will just remove your grid line and your chart, you organize your chart on the spreadsheet, even though there is no grid line. If I want to put it back, I click it will come back. Let's say I want to remove my headers, I can do it this way, it will disappear. If I want to put it back, I click again, it will come back. I click again, it will go. I click again, it will come back. Right? Okay, good. Now, let's look at formulas. Let's move to formulas by our formulas, the formula tab. Now, Look at this formula. Look at this tab. Now you can see a load of features. A load of features. Now let's look at few. Look at here, insert function. This one is if you want to insert different functions like some if, ABS, some average, hyperlink, you can just come here and you can get anyone you want to use. Now, auto sum, our average, count number, maximum, minimum. We'll look at it well inside the material. It's inside the material. Now, this is what I want to talk about this. Look at this: financial, logical, test, date and time, look reference, mass trig, and more functions. Now, look at here. There's something called, you look at this function library. Function library. Now, let me paint a picture. Let me paint this picture in your mind again. Let me paint this picture in your mind. Let's say, let me paint this picture. Let's say you visit a library and you want to read. And when you get to the library, the book you want to read, you do not see that book there. Two things. It's either you take another book and read, or you leave the library. Right? Good. Now, see it this way as well. All these features, all the functions in Excel, they are embedded inside this library. Inside this library. That means if I write out a function, if the function is not inside this library, it will not pop out. It will not pop out. Look at this one, financial. This one is for finance. I think people that are in finance, accounting, they will be able to relate with these features. Now, but let's come to our own. We aspiring data analyst. Let's come to logical aspect. Now, look at the logical aspect. We have and, we have false, we have if. Now, that means and, false, if, error, not, true. All these, they are under logical library office. They are inside this library. So if I say is equal to if it doesn't come out, that means it's not inside. But if I say is equal to if and it shows up, it means that it is inside my library. It is inside the logical library. Also test. Look at this one, left, right. So look at this one, date and time. You will see dates, date, week, network days, network international. Now, all the functions we are going to use inside my material, they are actually embedded inside this library. So any function that we use equal to pull out, just know that we are pulling them out from this function library. For instance, let me write this. Let me show you this. Is equal to, I want to write a function that is not inside the library. It was inside the library some times ago. That should be around 2022. But I realized that it's no longer there again. Let me say ampersand. Ampersand. Can you see now? Ampersand is not coming out. Why? Because ampersand is not inside this library any longer. It's not inside our test any longer. Ampersand is no longer in this library. So if you write equal to and it will not come out because it's not there. It's not there. Let me pull out another function. Let me write is equal to left. Okay, let me try to do something here. Let me write boyfriend. Now let me type boyfriend now. Now on this cell 12, row 12, column held, row 12. Let's say I want to use a function. I want to pull out a function here. Is equal to, remember I said equal sign, equals to left. Now, I open my brackets. Now, is asking test. Now, before then, look at it. It says returns the specified number of characters from the start of a test string. That is, this function, what it's going to do here is that it's going to return the first character. I'll be the one to set it. Then what it will do that it will return the character that the one at the left hand side is going to return it. Now See, let me close my bracket. See what is going to return. Now I want it to return test. I want it to return boy. Then I will click my test. I will click everything. Then I will put my comma sign. Now, number of character, I want 3. Then I will close my bracket. I hit my enter. Can you see now? It will bring out boy. Now, why? I was able to call out this function because actually the function is inside here, left. If it's not there, it won't come out like this proper. This one is for arranging your name. Maybe the name is in small letter, capital letter, stuff like that. You can use proper. I have inside the material, so don't worry. Now, good. Now, you have seen that this is our function library. Any function we are going to use inside, any function we are going to use in the course of this training, they are inside this function library. Anyone that I don't, anyone I press and you can't, anyone, if any function that is not inside this library, you will not see it. You won't, it won't pop out. It will not be there. Now, good. Now, all these ones create form, selection, use formula, trace precedence, trade depend. You can leave all this, don't worry. But look at this one, show formulas. Yeah, I can actually write a formula and then see how Excel executes the formula. Yeah, I can check it via here, via this feature. I can check my formulas. And then this one is for calculation. So you can just leave this for now. Leave this one. Now, let's move to data. Time. Let's move to data. Now, look at here. This place, this from year to year is for Power Query. So there is something called Power Query. There's something called Power Query in Excel. There's something called Power Query. Is another field, another teaching on its own. So let's leave this. All this is for Power Query in Excel, but let's leave it for now. Just leave it for now because it's a very broad teaching. So let's leave Power Query for now. Let's come down to all these things. It's Power Query Office. So let's leave it for now. Now let's come here. This one is for sorting and filtering. You want to sort your table from A to Z, from Z to A. This one is for advanced filtering. Advanced filtering is different from this filtering. This one is advanced. Yeah, I'm going to teach you this advanced as well. I'm going to teach you, so don't worry. Test to columns. Test to columns is that when you have a particular name, maybe you have a name here, surname and last name inside this cell, and you want to separate them, that you want first name to be here and second name to be here, we can make use of test to columns. Are you there now? Flash fill. Flash fill is when you have data and you want to copy that same data inside another column. That is you want that column to show the data inside the data inside this column. You want that data to show inside another column. We can make use of flash fill. This one is remove duplicates. Remove duplicate is when you have different figures, like maybe you have 100 repeatedly, 50 like that. You can use remove duplicates. So you can try that on your own. You can write 10 3 times, 50 4 times, 100 1 time. Just pick number randomly, highlight them, select them by highlighting, and then click remove duplicate. You will see it will remove them. Because of time, I won't show you that one. Consolidate. Now, consolidate is a feature in Excel that you can actually use when you want to, maybe you have a particular record in a month that you put in a table, like you have a particular record, you have 4-month records inside different tables, and you want to run a consolidation. That is, you want to consolidate it to become a one table. That is the result of first table, second table, third table, and fourth table. You want them to be organized inside one particular table. Then we can make use of consolidate. I have it inside the material, so don't worry about that one. We'll do it. Now, what if analysis? This is another aspect of data analysis. I won't touch this one. Leave this one for now. When I mean for now, as you are growing in this, as you are growing in your career, as you are growing in this field, and then when there is a need for you to learn this feature, learn that feature, then you can go ahead and learn. But for now, leave what if analysis, forecasting, forecast sheet. You can actually use this one to forecast. It's for forecasting. We can use it to forecast. I have a material on it. Don't worry about it. Group on group and subtotal. This one you can play around them. You can actually group your row, you can group your column, and subtotal. You can use this function to calculate the rows related data by inserting subtotal and totals. I have a material on this one as well. We're going to look at this. So don't worry. Now look at data analysis. This one, if you look at your Excel, you will not see it there. You will not see it there. This one I brought it out from my adding. Remember the ads that I told you about? I brought them out. It's for work. So don't worry about it. Just it's for my own personal stuff. So don't worry. Now let's move to review. Oh, time. Let me quickly rush this one. If you are conversant with Microsoft Excel, then you'll be conversant with all this. So I won't talk about this. You can play around this. Look at this one, protect sheet, protect workbook. You can actually protect your sheet. If you can protect your sheet, you just put your password. After putting your password, then you re-put your password and you lock. When you lock, no one will have access to this sheet because I've actually put a password there. For example, let me just put 2642. I want to lock this sheet and hit my OK. He said I should re-enter my password 2642. Then I will press my OK. Now, if I try to do anything on this sheet, it will not allow me. Can you see? The cell or chart typing to change is on a protected sheet. To make a change, to make a change, unprotect the sheet, you might be requested to enter a password. Can you see now? So because I have actually locked this sheet, it will be very difficult to write something on this sheet. Now it's telling me that I should unprotect this sheet. Let me see how I can unprotect this sheet. Then I'm going to write my function. I'm going to write my password 2642, and I'm going to say OK. Now I've removed the password. Now that I've removed the password, then you can do anything on this sheet again. You can do anything on this sheet. So actually, you can lock your sheet. You can also lock your workbook. Remember the meaning of workbook. Also remember the meaning of sheet. Good. Now, let's move to view. Let's move to view. Now look at view. There is something, look at this. There is normal, page break preview, and page layout. This one is also part of the one I showed you the other time. If you want to, maybe you are working on your cell and you want something like a page break preview, page layout. If you are conversant to Microsoft Excel as well, you will understand. Remember, I taught you this, the grid line, you can remove, you can insert, you can remove, you can insert, and your header, you can also remove, you can insert, and your formula bar, you can remove, you can also insert. You can also insert. Now look at zoom. Zoom means that you want to zoom this particular spreadsheet. You want to zoom it to the point that you'll be able to see it well. Now, is another way to zoom. You can also see it here. You can see minus then 100. So you can zoom from minus to 100 here. My own is in 100. So I love it this way. But you can also zoom it here. You can have a data here and you can zoom. Are you getting me now? Now, zoom to selection. That is, you have a data here. You selected the part you want to zoom and you will zoom. It will also show. Now, window, new window. Here, if you want to show another window, and also look at here, arrange all. Maybe you want to stack your windows. You want them to arrange in different form. You can actually use arrange all. Now, freeze panes. When you say freeze panes, I'm not going to teach you. I'm not going to do an example of this, but I'm just going to explain. If you are conversant, you say I'm just saying that if you are conversant with Microsoft Word. Yeah, I'm saying this because I know that many of these features you can also find them in Microsoft Word. They are there. They are inside Microsoft Word. So I believe that anyone that has done a computer training before, you'll be conversant with all these things that I'm talking about. So like free space. Now, what's the meaning of free space? Let me just tell you. It's like, let's say you want to do a data entry job and you have column header from A to P, and you want you want to be seeing your column header. You don't want this you want to be seeing this column header. You want to be seeing, as you are typing, when you get to 22, 23, some things will just be entering. They will be going inside. Now, let's say that you want it in such a way that you want to be seeing your column header. You can just freeze the panes. You will freeze the panes by what? You will freeze the row one. When you freeze the row one, you see, as you are typing, you might not see row two again. You might not see row three again. Are you getting me now? You might not see row four again, because it's like you will be going inside the headers. But the item here, the items on column A, B, C, they will still be there. You will still be seeing them. That's the advantage of free space. So you just freeze that row and you'll be able to see others. You'll be able to input your data, but you'll be seeing the row that you have freezed. It's inside Microsoft Word. Here you can split your you can split your screen. Yes, you can turn into four screens. You can turn into four screens. That one will be, you can view your screen by side. That is, one screen will be showing, another screen will also be showing. You can also view it, you can do it side by side. Good. Now you can just play around these ones, just play around them, be used to them, play around them. Now let's move to developer. Now, let me see how I can explain this. Now, when you developer is actually talking about Visual Basic Application, VBA. VBA is talking about VBA. Now, look at this. This Visual Basic Application macros, this Visual Basic Application, these macros, record macros, use relative reference. Now, don't forget, I already explained this adsin, view the code. Now, this one, I will just say that you might still leave this for now, because this is just an advanced Excel. This feature, you understand, it is not actually common. It's not actually, because it's not everybody that has this skill. When it comes to Visual Basic Application, VBA, not everybody knows VBA. I won't lie, not everybody knows VBA. But what is the meaning of VBA? You can actually use it when you have a repetitive task. That is something you normally repeat every time. You can actually make use of macros. You can allow macros to be doing it. They can do it for you. Macros can do it for you. I don't know, maybe I can, let me see if I can do something on this. Let me just show you the impact. Let me just show you how it works. I'm not teaching you macros. I'm not teaching you VBA. But I just want to open your eyes to the features. For example, now you can, through this VBA, through this Visual Basic Application, you can actually build a table from the scratch. That is a table that has column A, B, C, D, E, F from row 1 to row 50. You can use code. To build it from the. You can use code to build the table from the beginning, even to the end. Are you getting me now? So that's one dynamic use of VBA. Is Visual Basic Application. I know many people are not used to it. Many people doesn't even know the meaning of the feature. It's under developer. Now let me see if I can just do little stuff on it. I will just want to show you Just want to show you how it works. I'm going to open a new workbook. I'm going to open a new workbook and I'm going to work on the baby. Hello, are you there? Hello,
Yes.
hello.
We can
Okay,
hear you.
We are
good.
following.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
yes, we are hearing you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Now, I'm under develop. Don't forget, I'm under this. I'm under developer. I want to show you this feature. I just want to show you how it works so that you can just at least when they say VBA, you won't just say, VBA. I don't know anything about VBA. I used to hear Visual Basic Application, but I don't think I know it like that. At least this small thing this little example I want to do, you'll be able to see that, oh, Ngoton, this is what is called VBA. I now understand now. Now let me show you. Now let's say I will draw a little table. I will draw a short. I will insert few things inside this cell. Let's say I have a name. Let's say I have name. I also have I have I have profit. Let's say I have profit. And let's say I also have bonus. Let's say I have bonus. Okay, good. Now let me just put this name. Let me put Michael. Let me put Michael. And let me put 50 profit. Bonus, let's say 10. So let me use another name. Let me use Uche. Let's say Uche. Let me give Uche 40 and let me give him 8. And then let me also use Mayowa. Let me use Mayowa. Mayowa. I will give Mayowa 30. Then I will give him 6. Now I just want to I want to just have a short table. Now look at this table now. This when you hear column, this is my header. Name, profit, and bonus. These are my headers. Every data must always have header. This is my header. Name, profit, and bonus. Good. Now I want to do something. Let's say I have this particular thing inside this thing. Let's say I have it copy. Let's say I have it here. Control K. Paste. Let's say I also have it here as well. Control P. Remember the same table, right? Sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. The same table. I have the same table. Now, this is my table. Now I want to do something. I want to record my macro on this. Now, the first thing I'm going to do on this table is that I'm going to come to my record macro here. Now, I'm going to name this table. Let's call it sales. Let's call it sales data. Are you there? No, sorry. Let's call it sales data. Now, this shortcut is that if I put a shortcut, what I'm saying is that I want you to take me to my macro table, my macros table. So I will just click the shortcut, it will take me there. But if you use this shortcut, it might override. If you maybe you use Ctrl N and Ctrl N has its own function, it might override the true function of that Ctrl N. So I'm not going to make use of Ctrl N. I'm just going to write my sales data that I'm going to. Now I want you to be looking at this aspect. You will see this record macro. You will see that it will change. You see what is going to happen now. Immediately I hit okay. What are you saying? I'm already recording my macro. Don't forget I said repetitive tasks. Now, what I'm doing now is already record. Now, when I start working on this data, it will be recording it. Now, let me tell you something. What I want to do is that I want to perform a task on this data. I want to perform a task on this data such that when I am done on this data, it will effect on sheet 2 and sheet 3. So I only need to go to sheet 2 to do it there. I only need to go to sheet 3 to do it there. I will only do it once here, and macros will do the remaining job for me. Now, let me start now. I want to do something. The first thing I want to do here is that I want to put a table. I want to put a table here. Then I will come here to come and I will come to my home. I want to put a table. Then I will put a table here. All borders. Now, I've already put a table here. Now, the next thing I want to do is that I want to bold this place. I want to bold my column headers. Then I will come here, I'll bold. I've done two things. Number one, I drew a table. Number two, I here's a table, then a grid line. It's also is a table, right? But you can also call it a border. A border. Anyway, let's just call it a table. Now, I put a grid line here, I put a grid line here, and then I bold, I have just done, I bold my column A, column B, and column C. You can also use Ctrl B to bold. Now, after bolding, now the next thing is this. This is the next thing I want to do on this data. I want to format this place. What I'm doing now is I'm formatting. I want to format in such that this header will become, let me give it a blue color. I want to give it a blue color. Yes. So I've done three things. Number one, I put a grid. Number two, I bold my profit, my headers. And number three, I actually format it with blue color. Now, the next thing I want to do is that I want to put a dollar sign. So I'm putting a dollar sign now. I'm going to come to my dollar sign and I will select. Now, I've put a dollar sign. Now, I'm not going to remove the decimal. I'm going to put it like that. Now, and the next thing is this. I want to add my profit and I want to add my bonus. I want to add my profit and I want to add my bonus. You know that, let me just see this, just to make the class lively. You know that it is very possible that you can actually use calculator to add 50, 40, and 30. You can use your phone calculator to add, and you will write the answer here. You can also use calculator to do this, and you still get the answer. I hope you know. Yes, it's in fact 100% possible. But do you know what is going to happen? If it is an interview and they check, you see, and they check, yeah, you got the answer, fine, pretty good. But the truth is that when they check it, they will realize that, this person don't use formula. This person has corners. This person has, they will just laugh at you that, oh, it's like this person doesn't know how to use sum. I hope you know. So you don't need to do it manually. Just understand the formula and use. So I'm going to use my sum here equals to sum. Then I'm going to copy my number. I'm going to close my bracket. I'm going to hit enter. So I'm going to perform the same thing here. Is equal to sum. I'm going to copy it as well. Close and hit enter. Can you see now? Now I'm going to do something again. I'm going to format my total. I'm going to give it a bold. I'm going to give it a yellow color. I'm going to give it a yellow color. Good. Now, I'm done with my table now. Now look at this second table. I don't need to do this. And I don't need to do the same things on this, even though they are the same table. Just only this. Then I want macros to do the remaining. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is this. I will come back to my developer. Remember, I said you get your macros here, right? Can you see now? This is my recording, right? So the tags that I did here, I recorded everything. I recorded everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop my recording. I'm going to stop. Now, I've stopped recording my tags because I'm already done with the tags. Now, the next I'm going to do now is that I'm going to remove all my formatting. I'm going to unformat everything. I'm going to remove all my formatting. I'm going to clear everything. So to do that, I will come back to my insert, and then I can actually make use of this. That one that I show you, I'm coming. I think it should be. I'm coming, sorry. Under the home tab, I can come here and see if I say clear all, everything will disappear. So I just want to clear my formatting and I will clear. Okay, no, because I've not selected, sorry. I will select everything, then I will come back here again, then I will clear my format. Now, can you see now that I cleared everything? And you could see, the other time when I was explaining, I said that at times you will not see the effect of some features, not until you have a data. So now that we have a data, I used it and you could see the effect. Now, I have actually removed what I have just done. Nothing is here any longer. It is now like this, like this. I've removed what I have just done. Now, I think it remains this and this. Now, I will remove this manually. I will also remove this manually. Now, it's looking like this sheet, right? Okay, good. Now, I will come back to my developer. I'll come back to my developer and I will come to my macros. This is my macros. Then I will say run. Look at run. This is my sales data, that name now, and the sales data. Then I will say run. Can you see now? So I've been able to use macros to bring back my formatting. Now, this is the second table. I will select the table. Then I will come to my macros again. This is my macros. I will say run. It will run the same task. And I will come here again. I will click the same thing. I will come to my macros. Then I will say run. It will run it again. Can you see now? So now, can you see I've done my repetitive tasks with macros? Now, lastly, for this class, we are going to end it here. Lastly, let me show you something. Now, there is actually a code involved. Now, as I was doing my tags the other time, putting a table, bold,
No sound.
okay, this is what I'm talking about. I said I have already performed, I recorded the macros, then I run the macros. After doing that, it affects the effect I saw it here, and the effect I saw it here, and the effect I saw it here. Sheet 3. Are you there now? I saw it here. Now, I now say that we can actually look at this aspect of what I have just done. And I said there is a code that is involved in this. And I said that code is VBA. And I said, VBA is called Visual Basic Application. Now, I said that there is actually a code behind what I have done. That what I was when I was performing the task, behind the scene, there is actually a code that Microsoft Excel, when I was doing it, Microsoft Excel was generating that code for me. And I said that if I want to view that code, then I will need to come to Visual Basic. Then I will need to come here. I will need to come here to view the code. But wait, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming, please. Okay. Now, when I actually went to view code, view code, and then I did my map. I viewed the code. For example, look at this now. Let me show you from here. Now, all those things that I did, Excel actually put it in form of a code, in form of a code, in form of a code, in form of a code. And if you could see now, you could see that I did many things. All those things that I did, he said I select A1 to C4. Because of time, I won't be able to interpret this code because of time. But I'm just trying to show you that those things that I did, actually it has been recorded. Those things that I did is what you are seeing here. Sorry, I'm coming. Now, those things that I did is what you are seeing here. It's saying that selection dot border. That is, I did a border. Remember, I did a border. This is the explanation of all those things that I did. This is the explanation. Now, after finishing, see what is he said with selection of borders again. He was still talking about the header, the one that I did the other time. It ended. Now, when you see end with, it means that the end of the first thing I did. He said with selection of border again, he kept writing the code of what I have just done. Now, he said here, look at here. He said from range A1 to C1, he said I selected bold. Selection dot font dot bold, that I bold that first, the header. You remember the header? He said I bold it. Is equal to true. Now, if I change this one to false, if I change it to false, it will affect on my table. If I change this thing to false, it will affect on my table. So don't forget I said we are not doing VBA. I just showed you in order for you to see that this is how it works. I just open your eyes to VBA, even though we are not doing VBA. So that's that on VBA anyway. Let me close it and come back to myself. So this is VBA. That's just for you to just see how VBA works. How VBA works. I've shown you the code and how it works. Good. Now I'm already okay. Look at here. Help. This one, maybe you want to contact Excel, those people that did the software, you want to give them feedback, you might just don't bother about this. Now let's come to file. Let's come to file. Yeah, this is our file. If you want to open a new worksheet, you can come here, a new workbook, you come here and you open. You understand? Here, if you want to save, you can come here and save. If you are conversant with Microsoft Word and you are used to laptop, you should, I guess to some extent, you will know how to save now. Save as. Also, you want to print, you want to share your documents, you can actually do it there. So let me go back to my cell. Let me come back to my spreadsheet again. So, yes, actually done with the training. So I think I'm done with all the interface, at least what you should know for now. I'm done with them. So tomorrow we are going to enter into the material proper. Tomorrow is the day we are going to enter my material, the material that I have designed for this training. We are going to enter the material tomorrow by God's grace. So we are going to start tomorrow from autofill. So we are going to look at how you can autofill. From there, we are going to look at manual table, how you can draw a table manually. Probably you have an interview or you are scheduled for an interview and you are told to draw a table manually and to insert some things there. We are going to check it tomorrow. We are going to look at date function tomorrow. We are going to look at another date function, network international. We are going to look at a function called here frac tomorrow. We are going to look at sorting and filtering tomorrow. We are going to look at advanced method of sorting and filtering. A lot. So don't miss tomorrow's class.